Alright, starting off first here with a 1986 D mint mark. This coin sold on eBay because it has that clip at the top of the coin. So that's actually a genuine mint error. Now the coin has not been authenticated or graded. It's pretty, in pretty circulated common condition. So this coin only sold for around $7. But if you find something like this in a coin roll sold for $7, it's kind of worth it. It's a lot more than 1 cent. But if it's like a very large clip and you have it graded and it's in good condition, it can sell for a lot more money. Now here's a 1986 D mint mark. The coin is graded by PCGS at a mint state 68 red. So this is where all the value is at in the grade itself, the mint state 68. The coin grading scale goes up to 70. This is at a 68. 70 is the best you can get. And that's why the coin sold for over $220. So there might not be a lot of these out there at a mint state 68 or 69 or 70. So it all depends on the population of the coin, of the grade of the coin, the grade population. So keep that in mind. Condition is key. $220. Even at a mint state 67, it could sell for significantly less money, So keep that in mind. One grade can change a coin's value tremendously. Now here in 1986, the D mint mark, they made over 4 billion of those coins, so they're not valuable in terms of how many they actually made, but we'll look at some things that can make them be worth more than a penny. Now here's a 1986 that has a major die break. So die break taking place here on the front of the coin, also referred to as a cud sometimes, C-U-D, cud. That is at the top of the coin, on top of Lincoln's head there. Those can take place on all kinds of different parts of the coin. They could take up, half of the coin or a large portion of the coin. So they could be smaller than this or even much larger. Of course, some of the larger ones, tend to sell for more. And of course, the condition always matters as well. So this is graded at a mint state 62 brown, and this penny ended up selling for over $25. So it could have sold for more had it been a higher grade or much larger cud. Things like that can always determine the value of the coin. Now here in 1986, we also have the no mint mark. We'll go through this really quickly. This is the same as the D mint mark that had the high grade of a mint state 68 red. That's why this coin sold for over $745 because of that grade. Now here is a 1986 Lincoln penny that has been struck off center. Again, this one sold on eBay. It's not been authenticated or graded, but it is an off center coin, and it only sold for around $8. So you can get them for fairly cheap amounts on eBay, but in some cases, if you have high grade examples or even more percentage off center than this, it could be way more off center. The value could always go up depending on those type of things. Now here's an example of a penny that was struck a lot more off center, sold as is on eBay for 13 bucks. So again, the price just matters on the condition and if it's graded or not. Now here's an example of one that sold for over $135. So this coin was struck 35% off center. It's graded at a pretty good grade, a mint state 66 red by NGC. So of course, something like this is gonna sell for a lot more than, a non-graded authenticated one on eBay that's not in as good condition. For another example, this coin here being struck 70% off center, 1986 D mint mark, graded at a mint state 64 red, sold for over $195, nearly a $200 penny. Now, you got to factor in the cost of getting it graded. All of that information is on the different coin grading websites. So, you're not going to make a fortune off something like this, but hey, it's nice to have it in that coin holder and graded. 190 bucks, I'll take it. Now here's a 1986 Lincoln cent that was struck onto a 1985 Roosevelt dime. How cool is that? That coin is amazing. This coin ended up selling for over $2,800. These are going to be super, super rare coins, of course, but they've happened on numerous different dates. $2,800. Now here's another example of that. We have a 1986 1 cent coin, a penny struck onto a 1986 10 cent coin, a Roosevelt dime. So this coin ended up selling for over $720. Now in 1986, we also have the proof coin at a perfect grade. You cannot get any higher than 70, graded at a proof 70 deep cameo, and that's why the coin sold for over $3,400. Of course, it all depends on when the coin sells, what the grade population is like when the coin sells, and the demand. Things like that will, you know, determine how much it's ultimately going to sell for. So here's a 1986 D mint mark that has an unplated planchet, graded by Annex at a mint state 60. So this coin ended up selling for around $70. So always weigh your coins, inspect them very closely. Don't get these confused with the science experiment pennies that people turn pennies different colors and stuff. So those can get confusing sometimes. I've done a whole video on those, but here are some other pennies that are worth money. This coin here sold for over $500. Even in this condition, you can see that it is not in very great condition at all. It's got environmental damage, but this is a very rare penny. It is a 1909S VDB. Now in 1909, there was all kinds of different pennies. I've done a whole video on the 1909 penny, so just type in 1909 penny here on YouTube and you'll find that video. But this specific penny, the 1909S VDB, they only produced 484,000 of those coins. So no matter really the condition of the coin, they are always going to sell. But the better the condition, the more the value can go up. And I'm talking the value on these can increase to tens of thousands if it's a very, very high grade. So because these coins are so famous, there is a lot of fakes out there. There's a fake S mint mark right here that someone put on the 1909 VDB without the S mint mark. So there is another VDB without the S mint mark, but someone altered an S mint mark on here to be a 1909 S VDB. So it's fake. And then also some people on the 1909S penny, they will put a fake VDB on the back, and that's going to be on the reverse on the bottom of the coin. So there are counterfeits out there, a lot of fakes. Beware of those. The bottom one here is the genuine VDB. The top one is the fake VDB. So be careful with that. $500 for that penny. Next up is a 1911 S mint mark. Now this coin is graded at an AU58, so decent grade. It's not mint state, but it's pretty close. Mint state starts at 60. Now this coin here sold for over $160. You know, had it been a higher grade, it would have sold for a lot more. If it was a worse grade, it would have sold for a lot less. They did produce a little over 4 million of those coins. Now here is a 1914 D mint mark. Now they only produced around 1.1 million of the 1914 D, and you can see that compared to the 75 million that they produced for the 1914 no mint mark. So this 1914 D here is only graded at a very good 10. So it's got a very low grade. It's not in good condition at all, but the coin still sold for over $140. Not too bad for that wheat penny there, 140 bucks. And again, if you get these in a mint state grade, they're going to go for thousands. Now here is the famous 1922 wheat penny. Now there is a lot to look for in the 1922. Again, just type in 1922 penny here on YouTube and you'll find that video. Now in 1922, they only produced the D mint mark. So there was no other mint marks, only the D mint mark was produced. However, there are 1922s out there with a no D. So this is the case here with this coin. It is graded at an AU50, so not the best, but not the worst by any means. So it's got the no D and it's got a strong reverse. I explained the strong reverse in my 1922 penny video, so check that out. This coin sold for over $2,500. That's right, over a $2,000 penny. And they produced around 7.1 million of these coins. Now here's an even more expensive version of that coin, the 1922 no D. It's got the strong reverse, and this coin sold for over $4,500. $4,000. It's got that grade of an AU55 as well, so that's going to help its value, of course. So always, you know, check your coins. If you guys buy coin collections from people, always look out for these types of pennies. Now here is a 1931S. That is another key date to look for in your wheat pennies. Now they only produced 866,000 of the 1931S wheat penny. So they're going to be valuable. Even in rough condition, they're gonna sell. You know, they might not sell for thousands, but this case here, this coin sold for over $85 and it's only graded at an extra fine 45. So not too bad for that coin, but again, mint state versions of those coins sell for thousands of dollars. Now here is a 1944D. Now they produced a lot of these coins. They actually produced over 430 million of the 1944D. So they are not valuable in terms of how many they actually produced. This coin is graded at an extra fine 45, so it's not a mint state grade. But what gives this coin value is that it has an over mint mark. So it has a D over an S mint mark. Now here's an example of what you want to look for on the 1944. You see that S at the top there above the D, and then it wraps into the D mint mark. So the D is over the S. Here is another example of that with the S going through the D. So always be on the lookout for that. I have coin microscopes on couchcollectibles.com. That way you guys can see your coins up close like this. Now this coin sold for a little over $75, so nothing too valuable. Had it been a much higher grade, it would have sold for a lot more money. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle, check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I'll see you guys in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.